Yo, boys, welcome to FPL Josh. We have obviously only had 55 points. We have had a green arrow this week. We got 6 on this, which considering on this, quite good. I did make a mistake I did say, obviously, I did a last minute go where I switched Raya out for Sanchez. And it's a mistake on my half. Honestly, the statistics were showing Sanchez was better. One of those on my half. I was expecting Leicester and Crystal Palace to have a good scoring game. Draw, obviously, Gay's and good. I'm not really annoyed about that because it was a bench option either way. Raya, I'm a little bit frustrated about, but not to the point where I can't just on my mistakes. It's one of them. We had like 4 high scoring goalkeepers. A lot of people have like benched the likes of Allison and Gaita and Raya. I've read it this week. So I'm not one of the only ones who's done it. People have benched Nick Pope and regretted it because they thought he was going to worse. I thought it was a high scoring game than 0-0. Obviously, I captained Haaland. I was thinking about captaining Mitrovic, but I was unsure, obviously, on what was going to happen. People who captained Tony, hats off to him. Obviously, Haaland blanked for 6.7 mil, so I'm not annoyed. It's not going to affect my rank, really. Just one of those weeks. We have obviously got Salah, who scored a goal. Very, very good. People I know had like £1, 41 quid just off that goal on the bet. And wow. Shot on target, goal. He played phenomenal. He could have had 2 or 3. He needed to win by 1-0. Great. I really enjoyed watching it. I thought it was going to be a City win, to be honest with you. I think a lot of people thought it was going to be a City win. But I'm not annoyed. Salah's a real differential because his ownership was really low. His ownership was sat at like 27%. In the last like 2 hours, it's gone up to 30.7. And it was sat at like 26% on the video the other day. It was sat at 26.5, I think. He's just gone through the roof because people are knee-jerking in the players and obviously bringing Mo Salah in. But Mo Salah's not a knee-jerk this week. I don't see why people have got rid of him. I've said the whole season, Salah will come through. Next week as my captain. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if Salah scores 2 goals plus West Ham. I think he'll get 2 goals minimum against West Ham. And I'll come out with like a 30-pointer and it's going to catch my points up. And I'm really looking forward to next week. I've took a hit, but I've not took a hit because I've had to take a hit, if I show you now, boys. I've took a hit off Walker down to Gomez. The reason is, I think Liverpool will keep a clean sheet against West Ham and Forest, and he should start those games, so I'll make my points back. Necessarily, I'll get 2 for the minute, and I'm taking, obviously, the -2 for him, right? Walker weren't going to play, so I was going to have no players for that 11th spot. But if he gets a clean sheet, I'm making 2 points profit that I wouldn't have had. I've freed up a City spot, because I've currently got 3.6 mil in my bank. So I've freed up that City spot for my free transfer next week to go from Trossard to Foden. So I did a free transfer from Maddison to Trossard for this week. I used my 1 free transfer for that. For Trossard for a 1-week punt, from -4 from Walker to Gomez, because Gomez is low owned and he'll play. Should get at least 2 clean sheets out of him. I'll make all my points back. Then he'll just go on the bench and he'll be replaced game week 16. And then everyone else will be playing. I've not had to knee-jerk any of my City or Arsenal players out that I want to keep. I've got there. I can bring Saka in for Zaha game week 14. I can bring Foden in game week 13. I could bring Martinelli in for the Silva. I've got really big options here. And it's really nice to have these options. I could even bring Jesus in for Tony. Or I could bring in Jesus in for Mitrovic. I've really got these nice options coming up, which is really going to benefit the team now in a lot of ways that I've set myself up with this. And I think this is kind of next week is my catch-up week because everyone's going to be playing with like 7 or 8 players. And loads of people will be taking -8s, -12s, big hits. I've took a little hit, but I've took a guaranteed beneficial hit in my eyes because I don't see Liverpool conceding to West Ham. If they go out and play like they did like City last night, they'll keep a clean sheet, they'll hold them off, Gomez will get bonus points again, Salah will get a couple goals in bonus. I'll be laughing my arse off at everyone who's not got Salah, who's dropped him, not captained him, and I'll be flying through my ranks. That's what my head's thoughts. And I'll be honest with you, Loads of people are bringing Tony in, and I think it's a great call. People are saying stay away from him, but for me, Tony scores against Chelsea. I really think Tony will score against Chelsea. I wouldn't even be surprised if Chelsea don't score a goal and Raya comes out with brilliant form again and keeps Brentford in it. But on paper, Sanchez is guaranteed a clean sheet against Forest. So Sanchez is the best pick all around for that. Hold on, let's go. Apologies for that, boys, man. Throat's still bad. But yeah, honestly, in general, Sanchez is the best goalkeeper for this week, in my opinion. Now, there is a lot of talk on Dunk, but in my opinion, if you're bringing in defenders for under 5 mil, under 4.8 mil, you want some cheap defenders. I wouldn't go Shah, because he's just got this one good fixture against Everton this week and a couple bad. And if you've already got Trippier, you don't really want to double up on that. I wouldn't go into Dunk because he's got City and Chelsea, I think it is. Is that right? Have they got City and Chelsea? Yeah, Man City and Chelsea, and Wolves and Villa. But for me, clean sheet this week, yes. But then you've got Man City, no clean sheet. Chelsea, no clean sheet. I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet against Wolves. And they should keep a clean sheet against Aston Villa. But for me, you can go and get the likes of Gomez, right, for 4.5 mil. He should keep a clean sheet here, clean sheet here, clean sheet here if he starts, which he's guaranteed these two, by the way. This one, maybe not, depending on whether Konate is back, but he shouldn't be by then. Then, obviously, you can always get rid of him, or just bench him game week 15, which I'm going to do, and then play him game week 16. Or have him as your first bench slot. Or, you can go into Anderson. Obviously, I prefer Gay, who I bought in last week, I think I bought him in on a transfer. Yeah, I bought him in on a transfer. I did a transfer, Reece James to Gay. And obviously, he would have paid off, I would have played him, but I didn't. But I'm playing him this week, next week, week after, the week after that, and the week after that. I'm playing him the next 5 games, because I'm quite confident he's going to come out with 4 clean sheets in those 5 games. The only one I'm unsure about is West Ham. But I think he'll get a clean sheet against Wolves, Everton, Southampton, and Nottingham Forest. And I think if you want someone a bit more attacking, I'd go for Anderson. Because Anderson can get header goals, assists, great playmaker, great Reece James replacement. I recommend Anderson and Gomez. I do not recommend Dunk. I don't see the point of bringing in a defender for 1 week. Logic behind it is not worth it. Because a lot of people are taking hits for defenders too, or transfers. But think of it this way. If you took a minus, let's say you're getting Maddison out, with this logic, you get a Maddison out for a -4 for Trossard, right? Intentionally, Trossard's going to get 2 points, no matter what. You're technically losing 2, right? But what you've got to think logically is against Nottingham Forest, who conceding the most goals in the league. So he's going to get at least 1 return. And he should get bonus. So you're pretty much going to come out with 8 points on Trossard, and you'll get 4 points more, in my opinion. So you might as well just take that hit on Maddison to Trossard for that 1 week punt, get 4 points more, and then do a free transfer if you can from Trossard, that Maddison money, either into Foden or Saka. Now, Saka, 13 and 14 for me, better than Foden. 15 and 16, Foden's better. But long term, I just want to go Foden, just for the whole point of it's going to be a really miscautious for me to try and get Saka in as well. And I'm going to get into that Arsenal attack from either Martinelli or Jesus. So I don't need to worry about that. But if you haven't got the Arsenal attack, Saka seems phenomenal form right now. He's bettering Martinelli. It's just Martinelli's better value. So it depends. And I do, by the way, guys, I'm going to say it straight here. No one sell Haaland this week. Because if you're selling for 12, you're selling for what, 11.8? It's going to cost you 12.2 to get him back. So I don't even see the point of doing a 1 week punt and going a free transfer, Haaland to Kane, and bringing Haaland in the week after. I'd just play with 10 men if you're going to do that. Honestly, I wouldn't do it. That's one point of advice, because people are doing it, and I'm thinking, why? Now, I used my free hit early on this season. It did pay off very big for me with a 100-point week. But in my opinion, I don't recommend using your free hit this week unless you've got 4 to 5 players that are missing out. We'll just say 4 players or more that are missing out, then I'd free hit. But what you've got to think logically is, you play with 7 players this week, and you're missing 4, on a double game week, you'd necessarily have those 4 players doubled because they'd play twice. You'd have 8 plays, if that makes sense. So you'd have double the points you would get for missing this week and using your free in a double game week. It's more valuable in a double game week because you could, let's say, put KDB in, Salah in, Haaland in, Kane in, go 4 premiums in a double game week, do some cheaper options everywhere else. Then you bring your team back in, and you've got those 4 players on that double game week who are going to big haul. You're going to come out with like 200 points instead of using your free hit this week. And because there's blanks with Haaland's, Arsenal's and stuff anyway, there's not going to be big points this week. There's not going to be a lot of big points for anyone. And then you're free hitting into maybe a 60, 70 point week when you could be free hitting into a 150, 200 point week later on in the season. I do recommend, obviously, I said to Fabio in the comments, I did recommend a free hit. And I still do recommend that free hit. And if he's done it, I think it's a great move for him in the position he's in. He is missing like 4 or 5 players. If you can suck it up and miss those 4 players, then I'd recommend doing it in a double game week. It's kind of a 50-50 decision. It depends. Do you think you can earn more points now and grow your rank more this week by using it? Or do you think it's going to be more valuable in a double game week? There's a lot of controversy behind it. And it just all comes down to what you feel is going to be better. Now, I haven't got that option because Done With Me obviously used it early, which honestly, it did pay off. So I'm not really annoyed at myself for using it early. I did it in a week where it was adaptive for me due to certain falls in my team. And I didn't want to take a -8 early on. So it was logically worth it, and I come out with 100 points. So logically, it was generally worth it at terms. But it's depending on what you're thinking logically, what you want to do with your team as well. Like, if you've got 2 free transfers, and you'll be playing with 9 players or 8 players, then I really wouldn't free hit. Like, if you're playing with 8 players plus, I wouldn't free hit. If you're playing with 7 and below, you could possibly free hit, but I'd try and stick it out. But honestly, I recommend, in my opinion, if I had 7 players, I would be free hitting this. Generally would. And if I had like 3 City, 3 Arsenal players missing, and I'd have to take hits to get them out and loads of transfers down the line, it's not worth it. But technically this year it kind of only is, because what you've got to think logically is, game week 16, you've got unlimited transfers. So you can take as many punts as you want the next like 5 weeks, then you can just take them all out. You haven't got to be safe. Like, I try and get your rank up the most by just going for really big punts, low-owned players, people who are going to score big, people who are going to come out on top. Those are the players I'd be looking at. Like, for me, game week 15 for Tony, brilliant. But game week 16, I'm transferring him out for Solanke for that 1 week as a punt, and then Solanke's out. Game week 15 for Mitrovic, I'll take that off. Mitrovic has obviously got Man City and then Everton 14. But by the looks of my thinking now, I'm going to drop Mitrovic game week 14 for Jesus for that Nottingham Forest fixture. Going to score more than Mitrovic, I reckon. And he's got Chelsea, and then he's got a green fixture in game week 16, which I can't remember what it is. Go down to Saliba, we can look. They've got Wolves game week 16. So Jesus could haul against Wolves. I'll be keeping him for West Ham and Brighton, Newcastle, Tottenham, Man U. I'd keep him along that whole route and maybe bench him in the Tottenham game. The way Arsenal are playing right now, it wouldn't surprise me if Jesus really starts to haul, and he's a captain option for game week 4. The real differential captain option over Haaland. Now, someone can say, okay, Erling Haaland's got Leicester. I'm probably going to cock up my rank if I do that, but you've got to think Jesus versus Forest. I think I could see a big haul like we did in the second game week of this, and I think he'd come out with another 15, 19, 20 pointer that week. And this week, I'm even considering like I'm gonna captain Salah against Nottingham Forest if he goes and gets 2 goals plus this week. I will captain him over Haaland. Brings the podcast up. I'll captain him over Haaland. Only reason why I'd do that. Sorry, guys. Right, sorry. Right, the only reason why I would captain him over Haaland in game week 13. But one, Haaland's got Brighton, and in my opinion, I think Haaland will get a goal, but I think he'll struggle that game. I really do. I couldn't see Brighton conceding like 2-3 goals to Haaland. I really couldn't. Where one and maybe an assist, I could see, but I could see a Salah hat trick first. and it's not a trap. I don't think it'll be a trap like it would with Bournemouth, and I could be wrong. And I don't want you guys to feel like go and captain Salah in game of 13 because I've said so. It's a big differential for me. Don't copy exactly what I'm doing and expect it to pay off. I take really big risks trying to improve my rank. And if I see next week Salah does phenomenal, will be my captain 13, and I'll just suck it up. And if it goes bad, obviously Haaland hauls one of those weeks. I've ever had a week the other week where he captained Jesus over Haaland. Haaland got a 23-pointer. But then I've had a week this season where I captained Salah over Haaland and Salah outscored him. So, you know, I've gotta be cautious about it, you know. I captained Salah for that 10-point week and that 12-point week. That 10-point week I captained Salah, outscored Haaland. But then the other week I captained Salah, Haaland outscored him. So what you've got to think, you're taking big risks, but big reward. And on paper, Leicester's a ridiculously good fixture for Haaland in game week 14. So whether I captain Jesus against Forest, I'm unsure, but I'm leaning towards Jesus. This week is definitely Salah. Next week definitely will be Salah unless Salah does absolutely nothing and performs terribly. Tony's obviously a keeper all the way up. The only game week he'll be out is game week 16. Mitrovic should be out game week 4. My recommendation is Mitrovic to Jesus game week 4. Mitrovic has got Everton though, but Jesus is just more appalling against Forest. More appalling, sorry. And Southampton, to be fairness. So I could bring him in for Forest and Southampton. I could bring him in game week 13. The only problem with that is I still think Mitrovic will haul against Leeds. I think Jesus might not be in game week 13 because there's doubts about him this week and he might have a bit of problems still. So I kind of want to hold off. And I'm going to get Foden in this. And the week after that, game week 14, it might be a case of me taking a hit. Go Zaha to Saka, Jesus front. I think they have a really big scoring week against Forest. And I could see Jesus getting a hat trick. You know, I could see Saka getting 2 goals for an assist and a goal that week, and it would really pay off. And I'd have Saka game week 15. The only thing I don't like is I think Zaha could perform better for me just because he has got Nottingham Forest 16. Has got West Ham, Southampton, Everton. Would save me a -4. Hold him. I don't really want Saka for the Chelsea game, logically. I think they'll struggle the way Chelsea have been playing. So it's hard, but Jesus is probably a must for me to bring back in. Just one, because his high ownership would really crumble me, really destroy my ranks like it has done recently. Some games where he's outscored, and it has plummeted my rank a bit. Same with Martinelli. He had that 12-pointer the other week, or 10 points, wherever it was, and it just plummeted my ranks a lot. I was really up. So I have got to be really cautious on how I play this. But more or less, I don't really want to bring Martinelli in. I've got the funds to do, which I don't think I would. If we show you to transfer, I've only got 3.6 mil up. The logical move for me would be Trossard into Foden. That would be the logical move for that week. Be Trossard into Foden, and this would be game week 14, right? That would be my move for game week 14. Sorry, not game week 14, game week 13. I'd bring in Foden. In game week 14, I'd have 2.2 mil left. So logically, would I have 2.2 left? No. I'd have 2.1 left, so I wouldn't be able to afford Martinelli. But Trossard is believed to go up another. Obviously, I have got Tony, who I could possibly go. I still have 2 points left. Well, not 2 points. I have 1.5 or something. That could possibly go back into James. No, sorry, ignore me, not Reece James. I meant to say I could possibly go into a Van Dijk 1 week. Honestly, it's hard with the transfers at the minute, but my goal would be to get Foden in, Jesus in, possibly Sakarin for Zaha, which probably won't happen. To be honest, I am really going to be looking to go for Solanke. It might be I think Mitrovic will be replaced by Solanke. I don't see why Mitrovic by Solanke. Or I replace Mitrovic by Jesus and bring Solanke in. Mitrovic game week 15 could be out. Leeds Everton. Seems good. If I got Mitrovic out game week 14, I have Jesus for these. I could possibly bring Solanke in for Everton. Hold Tony. The reason I would hold Tony, generally just because he's got decent fixtures. Got Man City, Forest, Wolves, Villa, Chelsea. Like game week 15 Forest and game week 14 Jesus Forest. Fixtures are. I think I'm going to fall on some massive holes. Game week 15, massive. Generally, it's going to be a really big game week. I've got Tony against Forest. I've got Haaland against Fulham. I'll have another striker where Mitrovic is, which is same with going to be Jesus, who could possibly score against Chelsea in one game. I've got Salah, who I think has got Spurs that week. Maybe a goal. Spurs, it wouldn't surprise me. Southampton, or Villa, I don't really plan on getting rid of Salah if you ask me. Still think there's a lot of captain Salah for options. Game week 16, Haaland, got Brentford. I think Brentford will be good, so I might captain Salah against Southampton. Trippier is someone I wouldn't even look at bringing out. I play him for every single fixture. I'll play him against Tottenham, and then I've got Aston Villa, Southampton, and I think I'll play him against Chelsea as well. Or I can play Gomez over him, obviously. Southampton is. If Gomez is still playing by then. My prediction is Gomez play game week 12, 13 guaranteed. Should play game week 14, 80%. Probably Canate will be back game week 15. Got him for minimum 3 weeks. And he'll play. He might be able to play game week 15 as well. And I think you've got 3 clean sheets. You've got an 18. And you'll stack up transfers over that time. And he's a bench option too for me, by the way. Playing this week, but logically in term he's a bench option. But Trippier will not be playing after this. I don't think against. I don't know whether to bench him against Tottenham for Gomez. I'll probably do that. Then I've got him against Aston Villa and Southampton, which will still leave me with 4, and then I'd have 4 in the midfield because I can play Andreas against Everton. I'd obviously bring Jesus in, but I'm still going to get a little bit of that Fulham hack and stuff. Andreas would be benched obviously for Gomez. Game week 50, probably have to play Gomez. Yeah, it probably would be a case of that. It's honestly a sticky situation to be in, but my team's looking quite good. My bench general looks quite good. Silver will obviously be out game week 6. I've made a lot of money off Tony. I think I bought him at 7.1, sold him for 7, going back 7. Selling, and now he's worth 7.3. Maybe going up to probably 7.5 now, so 7.4 for him. I think no, we'd have to go up 7.6. Have to go up 2 more. Probably could do that. Jesus, I could see possibly dropping a bit more too. He did obviously go up to like 8 point dropped. He will dropped. I think if we go to the most transferred out on the homepage status, go to shocker. Salah's had one good week and everyone's transferring him in. Mount, he looks phenomenal by the way, guys. I wish I would have gone for maybe Mason Mount instead of Maddison, instead of going for Trossard really. But I do want to bring in Foden, so it's not really affected me. But Mason Mount does look like a really good pick. Yeah. And it's someone I will be considering after game week 6. Unlimited transfers. He does look very, very good. I think Chelsea has a really good fixture turn after game week 6. Like, I think they've got decent fixtures right now, really decent. But I think they have like a really, really dumb fixture. Yeah. So I was just checking some. Right, we go to transfer. How I can check these. Chelsea. Let's just say James, because I can't afford James. That stops me from accidentally. Oh no, I can't. Player information. I'm not actually getting Reece James. I'm just getting Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, City, Crystal Palace, Liverpool. But Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest, I could see him bagging. I could bench him for City, play him Crystal Palace, bench him for Liverpool, and I've got Fulham, West Ham, Southampton. Bench him for Tottenham, and I've got Leeds, Leicester, Everton, Villa, Wolves, Brighton. I'd play him. I'd play him against us and Brentford again. Arsenal, I'd bench him. They're playing against Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest. I'd probably play him. I'll play him in the Newcastle Fulham game, bench him in the City game. That's like considering he keeps his form up. It's a very good option, mate. I really do recommend him game week 16. And he will be someone I'll be recommending him after game week 16. And I definitely will be recommending a Jesus again, because ownership, you don't want to get hit in the arse by him. But Slanky could be a good punt as well. I'm sure Arsenal have. Oh no, they have a bad run. Oh damn, yeah, they do. They have West Ham, but then they have Brighton, Newcastle, Tottenham. They've got Everton, Brentford, Aston Villa, Leicester, Bournemouth, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Leeds. So I'd probably actually scratch what I've just said, not have Jesus or Martinelli, and then just bring them in all these fixtures. Drop them on the Liverpool, West Ham, Liverpool. Actually, no, I wouldn't drop them on Liverpool. I'd play them. I'd maybe drop Martinelli for someone. Obviously, play Jesus. Drop him here. Don't have him for these games. And possibly bring him back in for the Forest game. I'm obviously just looking at big long terms. Looking at players who will obviously be good for the next 4, and then get them out. That's what you're going to be looking at as well, guys. It's just the next 4. Like game week 16, and yeah, it's decent, but obviously you want to just end your team off the next 5 weeks. Oh, I say 5 weeks. It's 4 weeks. Got deadline tomorrow. Yeah, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm gonna talk a bit more in depth of this. I'll do a video before the deadline. Want a bit of the team. Got your teams and stuff. Anything you want to ask me about free hits and so forth, you want to ask me in the comments, boys. I appreciate us getting 6 subs. Yeah, I'll see you boys tomorrow. FPL Josh, peace.